just powered back. And we're seeing Pond Arena, which I have not watched a high level game on before. So this is pretty interesting because obviously you've got the standard arena layout, you know, but then all the tactics that are viable on that. Normally in team games, Sling is really powerful on arena, but then you've got the issue of this water in the middle, which the fish enables you to have like really big booms if one team. So I can't talk anymore. I need to figure out how to talk again. The fish in the middle allows you to have a really nice sort of like superpowered economy when if one team is able to win it and the other isn't. Of course, you're also able to harass the other team buildings and bases and potentially trade lines with, say, cannon galleons or something like that, or make landings and kind of ship Mangudai across the pond into the trade line or something like that. We can see, though, that both teams going for the kind of optimal map pack set of civs, if you like. Huns and Mongols, obviously, powerhouse. In fact, no, it's slightly different. Actually, I hadn't noticed. Huns and Mongols obviously powerhouse civs, but Huns, you'd say a slight disadvantage in the case of any kind of nomad starts compared to Persians. Obviously, both going to be paladin civs in this situation because they're the only paladin civ on each team. But there's no surprise to see Vikings for both teams in case of any water, and that's definitely paid off because of this. And then, of course, you need Mongols, the absolute powerhouse, and then Mayans are a really safe civ and a very powerful civ in lots of situations. And, of course, they give the team the walling bonus. So, Eddie's vacation. No, it's called Pond Arena, but I do love that idea that, you know, when Eddie gets bored of playing normal arena, he just makes a pond and a little beach in the middle of his arena map. That's brilliant. Right, let's stop messing around and introduce the teams and players. We can see that it's kind of north v south again. Once again, Dark Devil occupying the left flank on the bottom of the map for 13th Legion, but this time he's Viking, so I wonder if we'll see him going and grushing the water over here. He's kind of far away from the water, I'd say, although a tiny bit kind of wedged in the corner. Wherever he goes to build docks, they're going to be kind of not that safe from ACCM in the green as Mongols over here on this flank, and then in the pocket we've got Vodka as Persians. So pocket Persians, that's pretty nice. Obviously going to be able to make use of great Persian eco, but also you've got like pocket Paladins potentially or something like that. And if his teammate is able to win the water on the flank, then he can use his like Persian docks to his fish boom as well quite nicely with the higher work rates. Once again, it's like Italian duo off on the left hand side. They seem to get stuck together, the two friends from Italy in the 13th Legion. And then Yannick pocket over here, blue as Mayans, and Emin purple flank as Mongols. So it's almost the exact same, well, I think it is the exact same layout of players for the 13th Legion on the bottom of the map. Everybody from like left to right is in the same position. It's just that the civs have changed a little bit. Right next to Emin, but on the opposite team, we've got VNS yellow as Hun's flank in the grey. I wish someone would just make him pick yellow. I mean, like I've got used to keeping track of it, but it just kind of I say yellow and people automatically think, like viewers, if they're not that familiar with the idea of VNS yellow, having yellow as a name, and they think that I'm talking about yellow, and it just gets very messy. Pocket Mayans for VNS cool. Like normally, like pocket Mayans isn't the greatest thing in the world because of it doesn't work on like Arabia, for example. But on this sort of map, it's definitely not a problem. Like there's nothing saying that just because Mayans are in the pocket, they need sling or something like that. Plumed archers play or some on Pond Arena is perfectly viable. Although I'm guessing somebody's going to sling for the team. And that may well end up being Viking players though, because the Vikings might grush and then sling, for example. Again, I've not seen a high level match on this map, so any attempts to guess at what might go on are just kind of just that they're just trying to guess. I don't know what the meta is for this map. It's probably not being played that often because I doubt too many people have picked it as a home map, and then it's probably only just appeared in the SY map pack a few times because obviously there are so many maps in the map pack. But returning to the players, lastly we've got a Viking pocket for fish. Now that's really great because VNS fish can do a nice grush from the pocket, and then, you know, regardless of whether or not he wins water, he can sling as Vikings. And, you know, if you're going to do a Viking sling, then having the pocket position to do it safely from, especially on a map where it's really hard to cross the middle unless you win the water, works out really well. So I think that is really nice and much better than having this kind of Vikings flank situation where he's not even as close to the water, and his like docks and stuff are going to be dangerously close to Mongols. So I think we'll see both Viking players grushing, but VNS Fish will have a safer sling after he grushes than Dark Devil will. On this side, I guess we could see Huns from VNS Yellow trying to rush Emin's Mongols, and
yes,
I would say Yellow could potentially be the recipient of the sling if it's not. In fact, to be honest, I feel, you know, you could have any of the VNS players being slung, because slinging Mayans and having them pushing into Emin's base really early, low 20 minutes, early 20s in terms of number of minutes into the game, could be really, really powerful as well. And at the same time, like, you might then move into slinging Mongols once they've boomed up a bit, or like later on in the game. Like, you can't sling Mongols straight away normally because it just takes them so long to get going. Even with sling, like, it's not the most effective to sling straight away. I wouldn't have thought. But I just definitely think that the game is going to turn on some kind of sling. I think we'll probably see like pocket paladins from Vodka, and then over here, Yannick. I feel like Yannick might just go aggressive by coming over here and just trying to either rush Yellow or defend Emin from a rush by Cool or Yellow, because I think that's probably what the best use he can make out of pocket Mayans, unless like there just ends up being some situation where he ends up slinging instead of Vikings, or that would be real trouble if that actually happened. You see Doc with 4 ships. Okay, Yannick's gone to fish boom a little bit up because he's in this far corner, going on to 6 fish, which will mean that he's got a really nice economy in a little while later. 6 fish for pockets as well, so that's kind of reliant on Dark Devil holding the grush on this right hand side, I think. But as I said, like, this Viking positioning for Dark Devil, not the best on the left hand side, facing off against Mongols who on arena can get really fast up times, because, you know, normally you can just like push in all the deer and something, and Mongol up times are obviously insane. And Dark Devil has lost all his fish already. Vodka was trying to fish boom, relying on his Viking flank protecting his fish. Or no, well, not fish boom, just add a few extra fishing ships, and he has just had that denied. Like, all of his fish are either idle or dead now. We can see that VNS Fish didn't even bother grushing, so Vikings are full sling here, and I'm gonna shortly see who he's actually gonna sling. He's just finishing coinage, so we'll just in a moment just see who he's slinging. But interestingly, then just Vikings pocket being abused to be a great sling, and Mongols using their fast up time to actually win the grush on this side and take the Vikings fish down, and then pocket fish too. No grush from Emin, just fishing ships to try and get his early game eco going, but he's probably going to lose some of those fishing ships at some point, you would think, but maybe not actually, because that would require ACCM to come over there. I was actually going to find it eventually. ACCM is coming. I was just lucky that nobody else seems to be grushing for VNS. So it just looks like only ACCM grushing for VNS, and yeah, well, just one player grushing for each team. But although Dark Devil lost his fish straight away, he is now getting water presence and taking out ACCM's fish. So it kind of seems like every player is going to lose their fish eventually, because ACCM's just running riot, and the only player who actually has fish left for, or had fish left for VNS was ACCM, and then are gone. This is a nice pick though. For Yannick has invested in 8 fishing ships here. I would have thought. And they're basically all going down. Vodka's still got 4, but they're only taking shorefish now. But at least Dark Devil could protect those. But ACCM's doing a great job of denying fish from all of the players. Let's have a look and see where the slings are starting to go then. Seeing... yeah, Cool is being slung, so as I was saying at the start, just really fast mine play. Just sling the mines and they can start to push in on Arena with like Castle like in early 20 minutes. Cool would be up to the Imperial Age, like not much, around 20 minutes I would have thought, and then pushing just a couple of minutes later. Let's see how ACCM's managing to hold on to the water. Dark Devil defending Emin over here, but there's no fishing ships to actually defend anymore. But Emin, Fast Castle, adding a fire ship, and suddenly ACCM just doesn't have the numbers to actually fight. And Dark Devil is on his dock, so it feels like ACCM, for all the fact they did great work early on in taking out all the fish from Dark Devil immediately, and then taking out all of the fish from Yannick and some of them from Vodka. ACCM will now lose the water, and that's kind of dangerous because you see that like this main gold is definitely susceptible to later on, like maybe some landings from the water or something, and building a castle. If all the war galleys park here, castle there, suddenly he doesn't have a main gold, and then definitely later on cannon galleons will be a factor if he's building any like forward castles with Mongols. He hasn't really got good places to put the castles unless he kind of like lays claim to this area and puts them over here perhaps. Full sling here. See, it's a town centre, not a second castle from Cool, but Cool is on the way to the Imperial Age at 1730, which means he'll get up at roughly 20 minutes, give or take. Forget the exact uptime of the upgrade, but yeah, he'll be pushing by like 22 minutes, I would have thought. And ACCM is still on water at least. Like it looked kind of precarious for him because he didn't have enough numbers over here. But now Yellow looks to have had a couple of fire ships, and Emin on a couple here. So both they've got players from each team. Actually, it's the 2 players on the right hand side, both just deploying a couple of fire ships and trying to hunt down the remaining fish, or like maybe 1 or 2 isolated galleys, and then the 2 players on the left hand side, both still in the feudal age, for just skirmishing with small numbers of galleys. But ACCM is on the way to the Castle Age and Dark Devil isn't, and that's kind of surprising in terms of if you look at what the civs are, but it's not surprising because ACCM had his fish for a couple of minutes longer because he immediately destroyed Dark Devil's fish with his uptime, and then it took quite a while until ACCM's own fish were destroyed, the fishing boats. So I think if ACCM just keeps some of his galleys alive and then uses that wall galley upgrade, he'll easily be able to kick Dark Devil off the water. And in fact, some of Dark Devil's galleys will just go down to these fire ships from Yellow and then clear up that area for ACCM to continue adding some more war galleys if he wants. But I don't think they need to like over-invest in water. I think that they're probably going to win it with... it's hard to say actually. Dark Devil does actually have more galleys here than I thought, and as ACCM goes up to the Castle Age, he's losing a lot of galleys. So, I don't know if he's going to actually capitalise on that Castle Age advantage over Dark Devil to the extent that it looked like he was going to a moment ago. Right now, Imperial Age for Cool, putting up a second castle, and obviously Emin has re-walled a bit to buy himself some time, but he's still going to be on the defensive and struggling. I don't know why the recording's paused. I've got a feeling that's could be a drop, perhaps, because I know that but they're kind of I think there's a drop in this series possibly, so I'm just going to try and pause and unpause, see if it works. And then it's not working, so let's just back out and load up the next recording and hope it's at 21 minutes and 9 seconds. Let's see. Need to just throw up a screen for a moment. Thanks very much, PRV Lim. You know everything. The all-knowing PRV Lim. Load game recording, and let's go straight back into the next one. So we didn't lose any game time, we're still at 21:09. And let's see what we've got. Looks like Emin is desperate to get a castle just to buy some time. Although, you know, if he throws up that castle here, then it's probably just going to be trebbed down by the trebuchets coming out from VNS. Calls 2 castles now. Plumed archers with Bodkin for now, but Brace are coming, so they're going to be very strong plumed archers. Even if they're missing all of the upgrades, they're going to be able to like snipe down villages very, very easily, like ones that are caught out of position like this. And Emin just doesn't have any army at the moment. He's just about to throw up a siege workshop, but you know, it just feels so late. I don't really know how he actually plans to stop this unless Yannick can just come and save him, which, you know, he's been booming the whole game more or less. Besides, yeah, he didn't actually build any galleys, he didn't participate in the quest. He's been booming the whole game, so, and he's on the way to Imperial Age, so he may be just in time to save Emin if the walls go up, but I don't think they will. I don't think they will. There are holes, and Emin is gonna be in a lot of 85 HP. If VNS Cool clicks on that wall and spots the 85 HP, he can go in no time, and of course Trebs can easily take down these low HP walls in just one shot or 2 shots, depending on where he aims. In fact, he's just going to go in here, it seems, which is great. Wall down in no time, and Emin is in a whole bunch of trouble right now. Looks like Dark Devil might be winning the water just by looking at the minimap, though. I'll just see. Yeah, I think he's got it for now, but there's not too many fish for each player, so I don't think it's going to be that decisive. Like, there are only 3 fishing ships on the map at the moment, according to this. Although those could be idle ones, and then I think fishing ships can sometimes count as villages when they're working. Can't remember which way around it works. Because I did see Yannick had 2, but they're not. They must have been cleaned up, that's why. Yeah, Emin about to lose TC. He made 1 mangonel out of that siege workshop, and it bought him a little bit more time, or should I say it bought Yannick a little bit more time to come and save him before he completely dies. But yeah, it's definitely kind of a race here for Yannick to save Emin, because Emin is by himself, just has no answer to this. You know, being Mongols, you can't fight against the slung mines on arena. It's just good luck with that. So he's just waiting for Yannick to come and save him. Let's see what's going on land over here. Dark Devil's just walling. You know, we saw he was the master of walling in the previous game. Didn't save him in the end, but he did buy himself so much time with endless re-walling. And he's walling a lot, obviously, because he wants to sling. As Vikings, he's not going to be too much use with Mongols, Imperial Age army, the Huns, Imperial Age army, the Mayans on the map. So he's just gonna sling now. I don't know. I think at this point it's probably more useful if he slings vodka, because Yannick's like ready to go now. He's in the Imperial Age, and he's matching Cool for upgrades, and not presently for numbers, although it may not be too long until he has the numbers. So, and Emin is basically dead. Like, he might sling Emin to like just get him back in the game a little bit, but only a few resources. I think he'll be slinging vodka so vodka can go and kill ACCM, but we'll see. Well, when I say Emin's dead, he's not dead, but he's lost a lot of his economy. He's been forced to completely give up his base, and he's going to lose all of these villages if he doesn't run them now, and they could well get intercepted. 4 castles for VNS Cool and only 3 for Yannick at this point, so Cool has about 20 military lead over Yannick, and is going to be able to maintain and perhaps even increase that lead due to the higher production that he has. And Yannick has his work cut out here, because he's basically now 1v1ing a player that is getting slung, and he's behind in terms of military. Neither player with elite plumed archer, but VNS Cool does have chemistry. Yannick doesn't have that yet. Yeah, I think Purple was a little bit late possibly in putting up a siege workshop and getting out of Mangonel too, but the problem is that, like, plumed archers with Bracer, they can just out micro Mangonels pretty easily and take them down. So I don't think it would have bought him very much time at all, even if he'd actually built those siege workshops earlier and got a couple of Mangonels out. As I said, Dark Devils still has control of the water, but it just doesn't matter because there are no fishing ships for anyone. I'd have liked to have seen somebody, although there still have some fire ships that are out for yellow, which might be why there's not really any fishing ships left. Yannick doing an okay job of kind of holding Cool at this line, but Cool will win the Treb war. He's got 4 castles to 3, more Trebs on the field and more plumed archers, so even if this one forward castle for Cool does go down, Yannick's not going to win a Treb war quite like this. But look at this, Vodka is ready to go and actually clean all of this up. Once he gets +4 armor and just masses some Cavaliers, perhaps Paladin, yeah, just clicking Paladin right now, he can actually run underneath all of this and clear all these trebuchets out and plumed archers. VNS Yellow will be here with Cavaliers of his own though, so what we've got is a situation where a slung Mayan player is beating a non-slung Mayan player, but then you've got slung Paladins versus non-slung Paladins, so I'd rather be slinging the civilization with Paladins than the civilization with plumed archers in that situation, but there is the fact that the plumed archer civilization in the north of VNS is a long way ahead of Yannick's plumed archers. So even though 13th Legion are slinging the stronger unit, they're slinging Paladins rather than slinging plumed archers, it may not work for them just because Red is so far ahead of Blue in terms of numbers. Yeah, both sets of plumed archers do have chemistry. The only difference between them is that we've got +2 armor for Yannick at this point, and Yannick's actually researching +4, but kind of losing numbers. I think that Cool hasn't been kind of microing or targeting with his trebs quite as well as he could have been, or repairing them for it as well, because he did have a lot more trebs than Yannick a couple of minutes ago, and now it seems kind of that he has one less even. And I think he had 6 or 7 trebs a few minutes ago, and it looks like one ram took down 3 or possibly. That's pretty crazy. And really, when you've got 6 or 7 trebs in the field, you'd expect to take a castle down and within, just deploy them all, knock down a castle in 2 volleys, and then I think Yannick would have been really struggling on just 2 castles. But Cool didn't use his trebuchets well enough, I don't feel. Just have a look what ACCM is doing, because we haven't been over here for a while. He's just going Mangudai, obviously, and probably going to add some siege. He's breaking through the first lines of walls from Dark Devil, but he's still got a few lines of walls to go. But obviously, like one set of stone wall, it's not going to take long. A couple of petards even, and the Mangudai are in, and then that would cut off the sling to Vodka, and there would be enormous problems. Paladin coming in much earlier for Vodka though, and that's the signal for 13th Legion in this bottom corner to actually make their move. And as I said, as soon as Paladins get with +4 can run under these castles, they can take out all the remaining trebs pretty easily, and that's what's happened. And now suddenly VNS look like they're struggling, because Paladin for VNS Yellow is greatly delayed. It's only just been researched, and as I said, slinging a player to build paladins is much better than slinging a player to build plumed archers. I do wonder if yellow is now receiving the sling instead of VNS Cool. I hope for VNS's sake that that is the decision that they've made, but it seems that VNS Fish has continued to send the sling to VNS Cool, which, you know, you could say that that makes sense because yellow didn't yet have paladin research, but you'd think he'd have slung him earlier to get paladin much earlier, because Vodka's had paladin for a long time now without yellow getting it. And if the sling doesn't change to going to yellow, they're going to be in trouble. And as someone in the chat did point out, because I'd forgotten that we have Persians v Huns here, the paladins for Vodka do have that extra attack against the archer units, so that's another difference between them. And I think that after looking at a kind of precarious situation because of the sheer number of trebs and the fact that Yannick has 20 plumed archers behind Cool, they've held the line, and they've transitioned into that all important play where you've got the Persians being slung, and now this is starting to look very much in the favour of 13th Legion over here. And obviously Emin has just been rebuilding this entire time. I'm not sure what number of villages he went down to, but he would have lost dozens over here, I would have thought. But I'm surprised he's only on 70 villages right now. I'm just going to see if he did any kind of Castle Age sling, but I can't tell from actually that display. Let's just see this fight and then we'll see. But on the left hand side, ACCM still not quite into Dark Devil's walls. Okay, both players just kind of retreat just for a moment. Let me just see if Emin's doing any kind of sling. Okay, yeah, Emin is slinging a bit, which is why he hasn't reboomed as much as I thought. I'm going to guess he sent some of that to Vodka as well. But really, Dark Devil is about to die because Vodka can possibly save him, but unless Emin gets involved in and gets some kind of military presence on this map, even with the advantage of Persia versus the plumed archers, this is not looking good for 13th Legion anymore. So slinging mines on this map and pushing into Emin and just wiping him out, just completely taking the Mongols out of the picture, ended up being really strong strategy. And although the 13th Legion looked like they were gaining a momentary advantage here, as soon as yellow, VNS yellow that is, in the grey colour, finally got the paladin research and kind of massed it up, then they were able to retake all that ground that they've just lost, and now all of a sudden it's VNS on the offensive here, exactly as they go on the offensive on the left hand side. Vodka's doing enough to save Dark Devil just for a moment, but it's not exactly saving, it's just delaying, because this wall line is still the only thing that stands between him and death. And whilst Vodka goes over there, it means he can't bring the numbers over here, and VNS Yellow just outmassing him with the paladins to such an extent. And Cool also has a 25 plumed archer lead over Yannick. And VNS have started trading. I don't think... Okay, actually, 13th Legion are doing a tiny bit of trade, but if they're trading to there, that is going to die soon. Maybe they're trading... Yep, they're trading to there, which is about to be lost, surely. And with VNS starting a safe trade, that's going to make the big difference between the two teams. Emin's still only on 87 villages and no sign of him going into the Imperial Age or rebooming. And now all the paladins, well not, yeah, all the half of the paladins of VNS Yellow are coming in here and could just run by it and just set Emin back another 5 minutes. So I think 13th Legion need a miracle at this point. Vodka has redevoted his attention over to the right hand side because he can't leave Mayans to fight against paladins and plumed archers by themselves. And as soon as Vodka redevotes all of his attention to the right hand side, ACCM, he's obviously just picking up 3 kills over here because Dark Devil cannot offer any form of resistance. He's Vikings, and more to the point, he's in the feudal age and he's full of slinging. So one of the you've got the biggest one of the biggest late game Imperial Age powerhouses in the Mongols taking out a feudal age Viking slinger. That's going to take all of 10 seconds pretty much. So as soon as that happens, there's no sling for Vodka or Yannick, and they will just die because they're going up against a team which has trade and which still has a slinger. Yep, GG. Pretty much hopeless. The moment ACCM breaks into here, it's game over. And that's it. 3-1 to VNS. Takes 7th place in Clan Masters. And 13th Legion finishing 8th place. That was a really nice series by VNS because there was at least one game where they looked like they were going to lose the Bleed at the Black Forest. They just came back very convincingly, and the Islands game was really convincing as well. I was surprised to see VNS pick Islands, but they did extremely well. VNS call absolute carry on Islands. I won't say carry because the rest of his team played quite well, but that was just a dominant performance by VNS call on Islands, and he's just made the difference there, I think, being the player that was slung on Pond Arena. So almost feel like awarding him MVP of the series, although I don't know if I can really say that because my recall of the whole every game and who did well in every game isn't perfect. But yeah, 3-1 for VNS, and that is the 7th place match over and done with. The 5th place match is done. The final is obviously done. I'm not going to spoil that because it's only been a couple of days since it was done, but if you want to watch the grand final between Old Boys and Tyrant, then you've got a few options. You can go to AOC Zone and download the recorded games from the Clan Masters section, or you can go to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/FubliOfficial, and you'll find all of the Clan Masters games uploaded there. These ones will go up on there pretty soon as well if you really want to rewatch them, or maybe you missed the earlier games but you enjoyed the last ones, I don't know. But yeah, grand final on there, and other than that, that is Clan Masters over and done with, apart from one set of games, and that is a set of games which I think the community will be extremely looking forward to, because it's Nadia's Boys versus Unforeseen Consequences, and I think that's going to be a match that has a lot of hype around it, and people will be really looking forward to it.